In this video, we will be talking about the professional tea judging set and how to use it. We're here to talk about the professional tea judging set, what it is and how to use it. Basically, what you get in a professional tea judging set from EcoCha is a 150 milliliter porcelain cup and a lid, obviously. It has sort of teeth there to allow you to pour the tea out without pouring the leaves out with the water. So there's a 150 milliliter cup and an accompanying bowl. The bowl can fit more than that. As we can see with the brewed tea on my left here, that's what comes out of the 150 milliliter cup with one brew. And these are used in tea cuppings all around the world, basically, for tea production and tea assessment. They're also used in tea competitions. The main point of using the tea judging set is for uniformity, right? So you're going to put the same amount of tea leaves in the cups. You're going to brew it with the same temperature water for the same amount of time. So it's all brewed the same way, and then you can compare how they stand up to each other. And in addition to that basic method of using it, often just the bowl is used to put tea leaves in and brew them in the bowl and watch them unfurl as they reconstitute and then taste it as it brews. This has been sitting for a while, but basically you can sip it when it's just brewed enough until it's very brewed, and allows one to assess how the tea behaves with a longer steeping. And it also allows you to visually assess the leaves as they're opening, and also to visually assess the tea and the color and the level of transparency in the brewed tea as well. This is most common for tea merchants, tea dealers that are going to factories and brewing several days of harvest in the same season, or just comparing whatever tea with whatever tea. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's fairly comprehensive. Using the cup is more comprehensive, it could be said. You're able to assess the aroma of the tea leaves. So in tea competitions, for example, in oolong tea competitions here in Taiwan, only 3 grams of tea leaves are used, and they are brewed for 6 minutes. And then the tea is poured out, and that is allowed to cool for another 6 minutes, and then the judges go through and they first visually assess the appearance of the dried tea leaves, the appearance of the brewed tea. One thing I didn't do for the overhead is you can just give it a quick swirl like that, and that will gather any tea dust that has come out in the brew. There's little particles of tea leaves at the very center into a dot, and that gives you a better view, basically, of the brewed tea without that kind of cloudiness that's created at the base of it. All those little tiny crumbs of tea are gathered together in a dot at the center, and you get to see the color and transparency of the tea a little bit better. In addition to that, when you put the spoon into the brewed tea, you can take a whiff of the spoon, get the aroma in its most kind of refined, or at least, I would say like the subtlest hit of the aroma of the tea is when the tea is still warm, still exuding aromatic oils, and getting it off the spoon. It is very light, it's very delicate. A fuller hit, basically, of the aroma is after the leaves are cooled down enough. You don't want to use it, do this when the leaves are still very hot. You can burn your nose. But the brewed leaves in the cup are still, this is almost room temperature. It's a little bit warm still. But I'm getting a lot of aroma coming off the brewed leaves. It's kind of concentrated in there, held together. So, one more time to run through the tea judging way they assess tea. They look at the dried leaves, they look at the brewed tea, they smell the brewed leaves, and then they go ahead and, with a spoon, our accompanying spoon. You know, any spoon will do. These are just kind of nicely accompanying the set here. That's why we offer them with our tea judging set. Again, when you serve tea into the cup, it's an opportunity to smell that spoon again. And it's kind of a training. You can really kind of develop a sensitivity to that aromatic quality coming off the spoon. And then finally, you taste the tea. By the way, you don't have to use 3 grams. You can use any amount you want. The idea is to have a sense of uniformity so that you can compare more than one tea at a time. Or it's really just good for a quick taste of a tea, an initial tasting. If you're not going to go sit down and have a gong fu pao, but you really want to get a sense of what this tea has to offer, you put leaves in the tea brewing cup, you measure the amount. If you don't have a scale is very useful in this sense to weigh the tea leaves. You can just, you know, improvise and eye it. You can use a tablespoon or you can use this spoon, and again, it's about using the same amount, so you can visually assess that by measuring it with a spoon if you don't have a scale to weigh the leaves. So I used 6 grams of tea leaves and I brewed them for 90 seconds. The other thing you can do with the, if you have more than one tea judging set, is brew it more than once, and this allows you to taste the first brew in comparison with the second brew, and feasibly you can combine them together and later brew a third brew, or if you have many bowls, you can brew it as many times as you want. That is very useful to get a sense of, similar to the gong fu pao, how the leaves brew in successive brews. Back to the leaves in a bowl. So this is the quickest and the most efficient way to really get a quick sense of what a given batch of tea has to offer. Typically for lightly oxidized, unroasted high mountain oolong tea, we use 6 grams of tea leaves and brew them for as long as you want. Again, you get to see them as they unfurl, you get to see the color of the tea, and you can kind of lift the leaves out of the water and see what the brewed tea leaves look like. It's always nice to have, if you have any kind of saucer, to have the dried leaves next to it. It gives you the full range of assessment. So here we're not using the teacup, we're just using the tea bowl. There you have it, 150 milliliter tea brewing cup with an accompanying bowl, and we include a ceramic spoon for your function and pleasure. Check it out, they're really useful.